Games new to me. Please like and subscribe.
Hey guys, Rob here for Games New to Me. Thanks for joining me for what will undoubtedly be another stellar, no, I mean spooky video. Thanks for spending the next few minutes with me, and happy Halloween, everyone. To celebrate Halloween, let's count down my top 5 scary current generation video games, shall we? Now, some of these will be exclusives and some of them won't. The criteria is that I had to have played it and found it to be scary or engaging or having a great story in the horror genre. Having said all that, here are my top 5 current gen horror games. Number 5, Until Dawn. The game that nobody had high hopes for but quickly found its audience. While it isn't the absolute scariest game around, Until Dawn sets a great and familiar atmosphere, making sure to hit most, if not all, of the horror movie tropes. You get to play as all of the 5 friends, Mike, Sam, Chris, Ashley, Jessica, and Matt. And let's not forget Emily, who decided it would be a great idea to vacation at the same cabin on Blackwood Mountain on the anniversary of the disappearance of 2 of their friends, and all hell breaks loose. Things are not what they seem until the story unfolds, and then everything gets turned on its head. The game is a horror movie trope fest, but it does it in a charming way. Every decision you make changes the outcome of the game. Will you be able to keep all your friends alive, or will it just be you in the end? And so replayability definitely gives this game a big boost, and that's why it makes it onto the list at number 5. Remember, each choice you make can have very different consequences. If you haven't played it, you should. Number 4, The Evil Within, also known as Psycho Break in Japan, is a hugely underappreciated game that brings the scares as well as the gore. The Evil Within centers around the protagonist, Detective Sebastian Castellanos, as he gets violently pulled into a distorted world full of nightmarish locations and horrid creatures. A third-person perspective, you can expect to see disfigured, nightmarish enemies with terrifying bosses and a constant feeling of claustrophobia. Defeat the things trying to kill you using guns and other assorted weapons, and the game will still pull the carpet out from under your feet. No spoilers, but the ending will make your jaw drop and mess with your mind. The Evil Within isn't perfect in regards to some technical issues with dropping frame rates and the like, but it received a generally positive reception upon its release and high praise from the game's horror elements. Believe me, any technical issues are quickly overshadowed with true horror, great atmosphere, and it will make your heart race. The ending will boggle your mind, leaving you with lots of questions that I hope will be answered in a follow-up game. If you want to be scared this Halloween, you should play The Evil Within with the lights out. You'll be terrified that you did. Number 3, Alien Isolation. An Alien game done right. The attention to detail in this game is fantastic, and the types of gadgets and equipment you've seen on the big screen in Alien are all in this wonderful, detailed world. While the game doesn't start out terrifying you at first, once you have your first encounter with the xenomorph, you're going to tread very lightly while trying to keep your eyes peeled everywhere at all times, because you just don't know where and when you might meet your doom. This is the perfect game for stealth and survival horror style gaming, and you'll never feel overpowered in Alien Isolation, though trust me, you may wish you were. Upon release, Alien Isolation received mostly positive reviews from video game journalists and sold more than 2 million copies in Europe and United States as of May 2015. Critics praised the game's retro-futuristic art direction, sound design, and the alien's artificial intelligence. Definitely a winner that will get your heart racing. Number 2. Picking between the 2 top games for this list was difficult. Both have so many virtues in favor of them that it could be considered a toss-up between the 2. But at the number 2 position, we've got the sleeper hit, Dying Light. Dying Light revolves around an undercover agent named Kyle Crane, who is sent to infiltrate a quarantine zone in a city called Harran. What is supposed to be a dangerous but fairly routine operation becomes something completely different as the dead have risen and are on the loose, making an already bad situation even worse. The game features an enemy-infested open-world city with a dynamic day and night cycle. The day-night cycle changes the game drastically as enemies become more aggressive and more difficult to deal with during nighttime. The gameplay is focused on weapons-based combat and parkour. Definitely a great game with very few faults and one that is sure to get your blood and adrenaline flowing. And it's honorable mention time, because the honorable mention goes out to The Last of Us Remastered. Yes, I'm cheating a bit since the game first came out for the PS3, but the graphics held up and the absolutely amazing story is timeless. The greatest escort mission game of all time as Joel, that's you, has to escort a young girl to a resistance group as she may just hold the cure for the clicker, kind of like a zombies, outbreak that has destroyed society, say but for a few military camps where conditions are less than ideal. After what happened to Joel's daughter in the game, you watch two characters organically grow to first like and then love each other, in a parental way that is, as they make their way through hordes of infected and bands of roving gangs. No spoilers, but this is a horror game that will make you feel and tug at your heartstrings, while at the same time scaring you to near heart attack levels. The Last of Us became one of the best-selling PlayStation 3 games, selling over 1.3 million units in its first week, and over 8 million units within 14 months. This one will not only scare you, but it will also engage you, and yes, it will make you shed a tear or two. Check out The Last of Us Remastered for the PS4. Number 1. Number 1 is a tie, actually. Both these games deserve to be in the number 1 spot. Both games are from the same studio, and both games have a strong cult following. The two games that share the number 1 spot on this list are Bloodborne and, you guessed it, Dark Souls 3. These two games have so much in common that it's actually easy to talk about them almost as one single game, with fantastic game mechanics, a rich, at times overwhelmingly beautiful world, and horrors that can both scare and overwhelm, coupled with the notorious difficulty of both the games. They both have to be in the number 1 position. There's just no choice. Bloodborne follows the player character the Hunter through the fictional, decrepit, Gothic Victorian era-inspired city of Yharnam, whose inhabitants have been afflicted with an abnormal bloodborne disease. Upon mysteriously awakening in Yharnam during the night of the hunt, the Hunter seeks out something known only as Pale Blood for reasons unknown. The Hunter begins to unravel Yharnam's intriguing mysteries while hunting down its many terrifying beasts. Eventually, the Hunter's objective is to locate and terminate the source of the plague and escape the nightmare. Bloodborne's counterpart in the number 1 spot is Dark Souls 3. In a kingdom of Lothric, a bell rings to signal that the first flame responsible for prolonging the Age of Fire is dying out. As has happened many times before, the coming of the Age of Dark produces the undead, cursed beings that rise up after death. The Age of Fire can be prolonged with the linking of the fires, a ritual in which great lords and heroes sacrifice their souls to kindle the first flame. However, Prince Lothric has abandoned his duty, and instead chooses to watch the flame die from afar. You play as the Ashen One. He rises and must return 3 other previous Lords of Cinder, as well as Prince Lothric, back to their thrones in the Firelink Shrine in order to link the flame. Both Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3 seem initially to be light on story, but they aren't. You discover extremely rich lore of both games as you proceed, dragging your mind and imagination into both respective worlds. Though both games have notoriety for being difficult, they are extremely fair to the player. When you die fighting, and you will die a lot, it will be because you made a mistake, and you'll be keenly aware of that fact. So getting back into the fight becomes a challenge to overcome, and while difficult, it is entirely doable if you put the time into it. So that's my top 5 current generation horror games. Do you guys agree with my choices? What games do you think belong on this list that aren't there? Let me know in the comments below, because I'd really like to know what you guys think. So guys, thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate it. To my subscribers, God, you guys are the absolute best, and I love the community that is growing around this channel. Nothing but warm fuzzy feelings from knowing that I'm able to entertain and inform you guys. Thank you for that feeling. If you just stumbled across this video, won't you click that subscribe button and give me a chance to win you over full time? You'll not only be part of a fantastic gaming community, you'll definitely have my gratitude, and most importantly, you'll always be notified whenever a new video goes up on the channel. This is Rob for Games New to Me saying, Happy Halloween, guys. Hope you have lots of scares, candy, and fun. Until next time, be good to each other, and I'll catch you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.